Take a look what happened.
Good afternoon, YouTube. I just wanted to drop in. Today is the 9th of November, 2025, and have a talk with you guys about a few things. We've been pretty busy today. I'm off the road right now. For those of you that don't know, I'm usually gone. I'm not home very much. That's a lot of the reason why I quit YouTube a couple years ago. I deleted most of my content back then. I just washed my hands of it and took a break for a couple years. Lost just about every subscriber that I had. But it was worth it. I took a much needed break and just cleared my mind until the recent past few months. But I've had a lot of people asking me lately what I believe is going to happen with Ukraine, with Iran, with Venezuela, with the economy, with this, with that. And I just don't have any answers anymore because things are so out of whack and out of touch with reality that you just can't tell what's going to happen. I mean, you have our president right now is on national television talking about how utilities are going down and grocery prices are going down, and I'm just not seeing it anywhere on the road or in my area. I've been to quite a few states in the last month, and everything is just outrageous. I mean, last night I went down and bought a couple 12 packs of soda and a box of Twinkies. It was $29. Our utility bills are constantly going up. We just got our taxes in for the year for our home and stuff, and our home taxes went up this year about, I think it was 18 to 20%. But everything is constantly rising, regardless of what anybody is saying. You can, go fill a grocery basket at any grocery store you want to. Prices have went up. But all of the wars and everything, I have no clue what's going to happen. There's such a buildup right now off the coast of Venezuela. It sure looks like we're going to attack. And within the past 24 hours, our Special Forces ghost ship has arrived there. What else? We had the Gerald Ford carrier group down there, which has the ability to have 300 aircraft flying over Venezuela at any moment. I mean, they're only a few miles offshore right now, so if they start launching aircraft that way, they would be there soon. We also had the 160th SOAR there. They're the U.S. Army Night Stalkers. For those of you who don't know, if we attack, it will be at night, the initial attack. But Venezuela also has a lot of weapon systems from other countries also. Russia's been shipping weapons in. Iran does a weapons for oil trade between them and Venezuela. China provides satellite imagery and targeting for Venezuela. North Korea is supporting them. I'm not really sure how just yet. But I do know Russia is a big contributor of arms to Venezuela. Um, they have the KH-31 there, which is the ship killer, and that travels at Mach 3.5, which means if it is launched, locked on a target and launched, it's 99% guaranteed it's going to hit its target. And for people who say that it won't hit its target, you're not paying attention to what's been proven in Ukraine. The Patriot missile system is the U.S. best known anti air defense system, and Russia has just obliterated them throughout Ukraine. But Russia has some very capable missile systems that we don't even have yet. We have, now we're talking about hypersonic maneuverable missiles, which means when they're launched, you have somebody actually guiding that missile, and they can control it. They can change targets. You know, it's a very capable system. Russia has 5 or 6 of these systems, and the U.S. has one that is due to be released the end of 2025, which is Dark Eagle. Now, I know a lot of people have been really hyped up with the Tomahawk rhetoric, Tomahawks to Ukraine. Tomahawks aren't even a hypersonic weapon. Russia has very capable air defense systems. And these missiles are older. They're slower. Yes, they're a pretty advanced system, but they can be taken out. And it takes a lot of them to destroy one target. So if you're talking about sending 50 or 100 Tomahawks into Ukraine, it's not going to make a difference. If you remember back when they sent the F-16s into Ukraine, they were going to make a huge difference. They were going to turn the war around. Where are they now? They made no difference. But back to Venezuela, there are a lot of weapon systems there. We know for a fact that the ship killer is there. We know for a fact that the S-300s are there, the anti-air missiles. These are placed on the beaches. They have videoed them. They're essentially deployed, waiting. And what worries me most about Venezuela is Russian warships have showed up in the area now. And the aircraft that have been flying into Venezuela, I cannot verify that they are boots on ground, but I can verify by the tail number of the aircraft, those are Wagner Group aircraft. And I'm sure all of you know who the Wagner Group is. If the Wagner Group are boots on ground in Venezuela with these weapon systems, then they are very deadly. They are trained on these systems, the proper use of these systems, the rapid firing of these systems, and that could cost a lot of American troops' lives. Will we attack Venezuela? I'm not sure. It definitely looks like we are going to, just by the amount of hardware that we have there. My biggest question is, what will the other nations of the world do? That's one that I just can't answer right now. Will this be a proxy war? You know, NATO has used Ukraine as a proxy to essentially annihilate Russia. It did not work. Will Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, will they use Venezuela as a proxy against the United States, or will they get directly involved? That I cannot answer. If we can verify that Wagner troops are on the ground there, which we do have people working, trying to dig up any proof of this, and as of right now, other than their aircraft landing there, we can't verify if they are boots on ground. But if they are, that answers that question. That means Russia is 100% committed and will be boots on ground against U.S. troops. And if that happens, where does that lead? Does that lead to a direct conflict between the U.S. and Russia? Or does that lead to a conflict between NATO and BRICS plus allies? And I know a lot of you right now are screaming bloody murder. BRICS is not a military alliance. They're just a monetary alliance. Well, that's not possible. You can't be a monetary alliance and not have a military alliance. And if you look, it is proven that many BRICS nations are in fact a military alliance. There are military agreements signed between many BRICS nations and their allies. North Korea is not a BRICS member, but they have a military agreement between several BRICS nations. China and Russia has a military agreement. If either one of them get into a battle and they call on the other one, they will come to their aid. So to say that BRICS is not a military alliance is being naive, because they 100% are. So there's many questions that just can't be answered at this moment. Like I said, if we get proof that the Wagner group is boots on ground, that will answer a huge question on where this will go if we strike Venezuela. Do I believe this is about drugs at all? Absolutely not. Venezuela accounts for less than 8% of all drugs smuggled worldwide. This was reported by the DEA, oh shoot, my mind went blank. Gabby, whatever, whoever she is, but I hate when my mind goes blank like that. But I am getting older, and it happens now and then. Gabby Tulser. But anyway, I believe it's 100% about oil. And oil wells' lifetime is, you're looking at maximum somewhere around 40 years. And then they start fracking that well. Well, that's another 20 to 40 years, give or take. But it costs a lot more money to frack it. And they have to do away with the salt water that's pumped down in there to squeeze the oil out between the layers. And that's really pitching them a fit, because right now, where do they take the salt water? It's contaminated. They've got to do away with it properly. Fracking is just unsustainable. 2 reasons: price. If they're not clearing $60 a barrel on that fracked oil, they're losing money. And right now they're losing money. Well, if you're not at $70 a barrel, then you're not making no money. So what is the point? Two, we have targeted and had Ukraine strike many Russian oil facilities. Um, that's going to take a lot of oil off the world's markets. Well, that oil's got to come back to the market from somewhere, or the price starts going up. Now, if we can go in Venezuela, which has the largest known oil reserve, I think it's somewhere around 303, 304 billion barrels, is what they have proven to be there. So it's the largest known reserve in the world. But they also have 10 million on hand barrels of oil ready to go. So if we can get our hands on that, then we can start flooding the market through Venezuela. We can install a puppet government, do away with that regime, install a regime, and we can essentially get their oil. Kind of like what we're doing in Syria. You know, we've been stealing oil from Syria for years and years. We've got military bases there. There's been several videos showing trucks going in and out, American trucks with the oil. The leader we've installed in Syria, which we just invited to the White House, we used to have a $10 million bounty on his head. He was tied to 9/11. But now we're best buddy with him. We've shaved his beard, put him in a suit, and how quickly Americans forget, you know. But I believe this is all about oil. But I have no clue if we're going to strike or not. But like I said, it sure looks like we're going to. What do you guys think about New York, Mamdani? How he lied on his application to become a U.S. citizen, because now he states that, you know, the Constitution needs changed. He hates the way America does stuff, and he's going to change everything up. And he's definitely a communist and a socialist. And he's absolutely destroying New York City's economy a couple days in. Why would you have voted this guy in? You know, if you want to learn what happens when you vote somebody like him in, look at communist socialist countries who have failed in the past. It's all of them. Socialism does not work. Free is not free. You know, we have gone over $2 trillion in debt in just the last couple months here in the U.S. We are a very unsustainable country with a highly unsustainable economy. Free doesn't work. Socialist ideas are always bad, but when they're implemented, they always fail. They're designed to fail, essentially, long term. You know, when you give a certain group of people something for free, and year over year that group grows, so year over year you're having to give more free, and it's a cycle that eventually becomes unsustainable, and you have to stop it. You know, we've known Social Security as one of these things. It's just eventually it will be gone. It will be unsustainable, and those who put in will just lose. And that's been publicized for decades. Eventually it's going to happen. It's not an if, but when. But I'm just not sure. I'm not sure about a lot of things. I would love your opinion on them. But a lot of people right now are in an uproar in Canada. A lot of NATO nations are falling apart at the seams right now. If you look into all NATO nations, the EU, it's just several countries are protesting, rioting, moving. Canadians are leaving. They are planning to leave or they are in the middle of leaving. The thing that happened at the ostrich farm this week, it's baffling to me. 9 months ago, these birds were tested, 9 or 10 months, but I think they had around 70 die. But here we sit 9, 10 months later, and you had 330 approximately that they killed. They were doing fine. They had them separated. They were doing fine. The bird flu is distributed by wild animals to contain flocks, pigs, cattle. We culled over 1 million cattle here in the U.S. under Joe Biden, and nobody blinked an eye. Not one American was mad about it that I knew personally. Seen some online that were freaking out, but things like this happen and we allow it to happen. Should it have happened? I'm not sure. But I know it has devastated the owners of this farm, and it has upset a lot of Canadians, which I'm sure with the firearms ban going into effect in Canada, they're doing a buyback right now. For the next several months, they'll buy back your weapons, but in 1 year, anybody caught with certain types of weapons will face 10 years in prison. I personally know several people leaving Canada because of that law. But these are the people that Canada has voted in. So this is the direction Canada is heading. Just like New York City with Mamdani. Illinois has recently tried to ban the AR-15 once again, and several other types of weapons and magazines. Many states in the U.S. are trying weapons bans, and it's something that'll never go away. And a lot of people, do I think Donald Trump was the best answer for the president over Kamala Harris? Yes, 100% I do. But we also have to remember all of our leaders have a play in trying to take away the Second Amendment in one way, shape, or form. And Donald Trump is not immune from that. His first term in office, one of the first things that he did was sign a law to ban bump stocks. Now, that was found unconstitutional and done away with, but he did it. So it's just one of those things that we've got to deal with from time to time. They try to take rights, and we either fight to keep them or we let them go. We have let a lot of rights go in this country. But it does not look like we're headed down a good path. Personally, from my perspective, but what do I know in the end? I'm just a person like you. These are just my thoughts, my opinions. But there's definitely a lot going on right now. Um, I would suggest that you pay attention to Venezuela really close because this could turn into a major world situation rapidly. A couple years ago, Xi Jinping stated that we're closer to World War III than anybody realizes, but it will not start where anybody is watching or thinks it will start. Now, back then, I was like, could be Kaliningrad, could be one of the Baltic states, you know. At that time, Russia was building up troops in Kaliningrad really, really thick. But I'm starting to believe now he was talking about Venezuela. Well, South America. It's not just Venezuela, it's Venezuela, Mexico, Cuba, which Venezuela and Mexico are heavily tied to BRICS now, um, which is very worrisome to the U.S. You know, we want to be in Russia and China's hemisphere. We want to surround them, but we want to tell them that they can't be allied with our neighbors. And that's, we are not the end all be all. And that's our problem right now. We just can't cope with the fact that China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia have built this friendship, this alliance with Venezuela. And now is the time when we're going to separate whether this alliance is real or not. Because if we attack them and this alliance is real, then this could be the moment World War III goes hot. But let me know what you guys think about this stuff, and I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Mine's about over. It's time to get back to the grind tomorrow. I'm going to be home hopefully a couple more days, and we'll see what happens after that. But let me know what you guys think. And for those of you who don't know anything about the ostrich farm and the weapons deal in Canada, look it up. It's pretty interesting what's going on up there right now. But I hope you're getting ready for the holidays. We are talking about it now. I'm a bit of a procrastinator. My wife is too. But hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you again soon.